welcome to He Said, She Said, a relationship podcast. This is episode 7. We are Luke and Sarah, a married couple.
Got to get my interruption in for the day.
Who likes to pretend we know what we're doing. We sit down once a week and to answer some questions from listeners like you about family, parenting, relationships, general adulting, and we try to give you both sides of the story. So, hi, I'm Sarah.
I already said I'm Luke.
I know.
Oh.
You're like that interrupting cow joke.
I know. Forgive this noise while I have to adjust my mic.
I don't think they can hear it that much, because you said that on another one, and I remember listening and going, I didn't really hear it. Yes, I listen to our podcast because it's fun. Anyway.
And we also listen for mistakes.
Which we should probably do before we post it, but most of the time we don't.
I listen as we go.
Anyway, so it's Saturday night. The children are sleeping.
And the moon is out.
Well, the child.
Are we going to head on over to the Twist and Shout? What song is that?
I don't know.
Saturday night and the moon is out. I'm gonna head
oh, that's like an old country song.
My parents played it in their band.
I can't believe you just sang that.
Oh, little thing about me. My parents are in a band.
His family's like the freaking Partridge Family.
We're very musical.
Even Heather, who pretends like she isn't.
She can sing really well.
She totally
That's my
can.
Sister. But they're a bar band and they do songs. But that was one of the songs they did.
So anyway, how was your week, honey?
Fine.
Anything exciting happen?
I had a lot of good time with Sydney. And with Nevi. We made a song. We started working on her song. My middle kid has started a kind of interest in writing music, which is so funny. And I never tried to push it on her. But because I like playing guitar and stuff. But she's really been into writing music and stuff. So if you guys want to hear one of her songs, you can go to YouTube and search Toy Bon Bon Alien Song. That's the song. She wrote it, and then I helped her. She would like say, "Oh, Dad, the music here goes like do, 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 do." And I'd be like, "Okay," and I'd do it on the guitar. Anyway, we worked on her new song, the Bon Bon song.
It's pretty exciting.
And it's not Bon Bon like the snack. It's Bon Bon like a video game that
well,
kids
it's
are
spelled
into.
the same,
yes.
But it's named after a character.
It's a character's name is Bonnie, but there's a version of it called Bon Bon. And she tried to explain it to me, but I usually drift in and out. It's very complicated. Anyway, that was exciting.
Well, that's cool.
So Sunday we're going to record her vocals for that, and she's going to have a ton of fun. That's pretty much it. Other than that, typical work week. Sydney was tough this week.
She's tough every week.
She had
lately.
She's got some teeth.
She's got some teeth. She's a late bloomer in regards to walking, and she's still working on it. Like, she'll take some steps on her own, but I think she's getting a little frustrated with herself, and it's just...
She's very long-legged, so I think she's just having trouble swinging them stems around.
She wants to, and she's so independent, and you can see the wheels turning in her little adorable brain. Although we babysat for a good friend last night. Their little girl is 4. And she is just the sweetest thing. But we watched Curious George for a little while. And it was the funniest thing. We're watching this and Sydney was already in bed. But I'm like, why is this monkey reminding
Should jump in
me?
and say Curious George the cartoon.
Yes.
Not the Will Ferrell movie.
There was a movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Will Ferrell.
Huh.
He played...
The Man in the Yellow Hat, right?
Does he have a name?
No, he's called the Man in the Yellow Hat.
Oh.
In the books, at least. Anyway.
Let's call him Carl.
So, Carl, the keeper of Curious George.
Keeper of the monkey.
In the cartoon, we're watching it, and I'm like, this monkey reminds me of our child. Because she's starting to talk, and she has quite a few words,
she just
actually.
bounces around everywhere.
It's because she makes that, when she wants something, she goes, and points at it or reaches for you.
It's adorable.
It's like a little question. Anyway, I digress. My week was good. Thanks for asking.
Well, it kind of blended in. How was your week?
It was fine. I mean,
Good.
They all kind of blur together. So I'm actually starting to do a challenge at my exercise classes. Every March they do a March Madness, 20 classes in 31 days is the challenge. So I'm going to attempt it. I don't know how successful I'll be. I have to go to every single weekday morning early class, and that's 4 times a week between Monday and Friday. So far, I made it 2 out of the 4 this past week. So, but the challenge didn't start until Wednesday, so I think I'm doing okay so far.
Good job.
I'm excited. It's fun.
She's been complaining about her muscles aching, though.
I am a little sore. I've been working extra hard, and this is nothing against new people because I know it's really hard to be a new person. But the other morning, there were chatty new people, and if you guys don't know, in Pure Barre, it's a quiet workout class. Like, you don't talk to your friends. Like, occasionally, you'll react to, like, a really hard position as a group, but, like,
Giggity.
People do not... You don't chat. These people were chatting. And all they kept saying was how they didn't know what they were doing. I'm like, okay.
So shut up and learn.
It's not helping. And just shush. So I was kind of like hate exercising at them because I was annoyed. I don't know. It was really early.
I like to picture you making eye contact as you were doing your butt clenches. And you're just like, look at me.
That was a lovely face you just made. But anyway, my week was good. Let's move on. We have fun and exciting things this week. We have a really great question we're going to get to in a little bit.
Yeah, that's gonna take a while. So
yeah, which it's just one question this week, but it's a doozy.
Well, it's kind of 2 questions in one.
Well, it is, but it's
one
listener wrote in, and we really appreciate that. And if anyone else wants to do the same, you can find us many different ways. This question came from email.
What if I wanted to email you?
I was getting there.
I haven't got to talk a whole lot yet.
What? we have all podcasts to go. It's
hypothetically, if I were a listener and we had a male listener, how would I email you?
Our email address is hesaidshesaiidpc@gmail.com. Our Instagram is the same at hesaidshesaiidpc, and on Facebook we're He Said She Said Podcast. It'd be great if you could find us on iTunes.
We have YouTube now too.
We have YouTube as well. I was getting there.
Sorry.
Yanni McYonnerson over there.
The Coke hasn't kicked in yet. A cola.
Yeah, we don't party quite that hard.
No.
Anyway, see.
Sorry, I knocked you off track. Sorry, let me just jump in and say we have a YouTube.
Okay.
If you go to YouTube and just search He Said She Said Podcast or He Said She Said a Relationship Podcast, it'll pop up. Just look for the one with faces. With our little logo.
Our logo. Okay. So I was saying, if you find us on iTunes, please give us a 5-star review if you really like us. I mean, if you don't like us, just don't review us at all. Because we don't need that.
We don't need any negativity.
But that would be really appreciated. Because we really like doing this. We like helping people, and we want to keep doing that. So the more you can spread the word, remember, tell 5 friends. And then they tell 5 friends.
Right. And that's like 100 people right there.
Right.
Well, reason being, when iTunes gets podcasts rated, man, that was a weird sentence.
You had a hard time with that one.
When a podcast is rated on iTunes and it's higher, it changes the algorithm so that when somebody searches for new content, like say they really need advice, they can find Johnny Crappy Podcast, or they can find us if you rate us well. And we'll jump up in them ratings and we can help more people.
Right.
And it's a fun thing for us to do. And it is, the more people it gets to, it is kind of a little like self pat on the backing of like self patting on the back of just being like, hey.
I really do enjoy doing
people.
It so much. Like, it's fun. I like it.
And I just like spending extra time with my wife.
It's not really extra time. It's just we're actively spending time with each other instead of passively staring at the TV and our phones quietly.
And we're also trying a new layout. We're facing each other this time.
It's a little intense. The eye contact
What's
is like
weird is
right there.
Normally, based on we have very modest equipment, and our mic cords are 3 feet long. So it's normally we're kind of side by side and we have to turn our heads at each other, and now we're facing each other and I'm trying to make eye contact and not blink at all.
It's a little intense.
So
Listeners.
at least I'm not one of those people with the crazy eyes.
If
That'd be real weird.
If I get real distracted, it's because he's like staring me down. Like last week it felt like he was giving me side eye because he was next to me and that wasn't working. But this week it's a good thing.
No
So
pleasing
anyway, let's move on. So
our fun little activity, right?
Right.
Um,
So last week we talked about doing this and then we realized we didn't have the thing. So to recap, in case you for some reason haven't listened to episode 6, Culture Your Relationship.
if you haven't, you should.
You should go back. We'll wait. Okay, great. So now, I like doing that. I think it's funny. It's
Never
probably
gets old.
not funny. I'm going to try on this podcast right now in real time. Well,
Baby food.
yeah. Well, technically, this isn't baby food. This is in the applesauce
I've
pouch
never seen a grown-up
section.
eat that.
I'm not saying it's for grown-ups. I'm saying kids. Like, it's
Yeah,
marketed
yeah,
to kids and babies. It's made by the brand Plum, which is a baby food brand.
So you better like it.
Organic mashups. Applesauce plus fruits and veggies.
What kind of veggie is it based
Well,
upon the name?
On the front of the package, all it tells you is beet box berry. And it's
BEET.
yes. And it's USDA organic. And this is a whole whopping 3.17 ounces. So when you flip it over on the backside, I'm kind of postponing a little bit here. I'm a little nervous. No sugar added, good source of fiber and vitamin A, excellent source of vitamin C. Let's see. Ingredients. Let's read. Organic apples, organic strawberries. I like both of those things. Organic carrots. Getting a little weird, but I like carrots. Organic red beet juice concentrate. Ooh.
Dwight Schrute just perked up.
Apple fiber, ascorbic acid, citric acid. Okay. So this might be a little weird. But I am a strong believer, and I hadn't tried this yet in real life. Like, I usually try anything I offer her that's new, but I kind of haven't
I couldn't tell you what.
past. So
Pardon me. I couldn't tell you what a beet tastes like. I feel like I tried them when I was a kid.
I think my parents maybe tried pickled ones, but those aren't the same.
Anything picked's disgusting.
Okay, so I'm giving it the smell test.
Okay. She's smelling it.
It doesn't smell
She
awful.
just made a face of like where half your face goes up and half your face goes down. The face.
I can smell the strawberries. Strawberries.
Okay.
I'm afraid.
Does it have a nice oaky aftertaste or?
I haven't tasted it yet.
Oh.
I'm still smelling it.
Okay.
Is
it weird? She
It's
just-
weird.
Okay.
I just took a teeny tiny taste.
Okay. Big taste in 3,
I don't want it.
2,
I don't want to.
1. Go. Describe.
It's not that bad.
I don't believe you.
It's not. It's the strawberries is all I really taste.
You don't taste beets at all?
No.
False.
You want to try it?
No.
I'm gonna eat the whole thing.
I doubt it pairs well with my Jamaican brewed red striped lager.
Like it feels like applesauce. Like consistency. Because consistency is a big thing for most people. It feels like applesauce. It tastes like strawberries. No wonder she sucks them down. Oh,
All right. Sarah is choking because
I don't
she's
want it anymore,
talking
though.
with her mouth full. So if anyone feels like you're not getting your daily allotment of beets, feel
thing
free
is-
to try Beatbox Mashup by Plum
Organics.
Plum Organics.
It doesn't even really have beets. It's just the beet juice concentrate.
So that means somebody
But it has
is
carrots in it.
squozing beets somewhere.
Squozen?
Yeah. Isn't that what it...
That is weird. Like I said, it doesn't. It's just weird. That's my
Okay.
conclusion.
So if
that was kind of fun.
we're going to keep an eye out for some other strange things that people feed children.
Or if people want to submit options, I'm willing to try anything with a fruit involved or like a cracker.
That's too easy.
No, it's not.
Ooh, what if they have like
No straight vegetables.
sardine crackers
No.
for children?
And no weird meats.
I'll try a sardine. I'll do the meats.
Oh.
I ate
okay.
one of her little hot dog thingies.
Yeah.
It says little, they're like little sticks is what they're called. They're the little meat sticks.
They're just like hot dogs, right?
Yeah, we talked about it last week, how they're in like a goo.
Yeah.
Oh, and the package says, packaged in water. And I'm like,
did you
bullshit.
rinse them?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Because it says like turkey product.
But it just tastes like hot dogs.
No.
No?
No. They're...
What do they taste like?
It's hard to describe. They taste like a slightly smoky hot dog, but not in a good way.
Okay.
Our kitchen smelled like them for like half a day.
That is true. I could smell them when
but
I came home.
Sydney wolfed down like 3 of them.
That's okay.
If she's eating, it's
And
good. She has entered, well, I don't know if we could say entered, but from time to time, she has, takes forever to eat.
I think it's like she's gotten to a point lately, I've noticed she's not big on anything that she has to work for. Like, it has to be mushy.
Typical millennial.
Right. She doesn't want to, like, use the teeth that she's worked so hard on lately. Anyway, let's move on.
Yes. Is that what her generation, or is she still a millennial?
No. I think the millennial
I guess it's
thing,
17 years after, or she was born 16 years after the millennium, so.
And I think, I don't know what they're called yet.
We call her Sydney.
There's like millennials having babies, so she's not a millennial.
Yeah, I guess that's
Technically,
true.
I'm a millennial, and so are you. But there's overlap.
I think there's overlap, but I think we had this discussion at work with work friend. Hi, work friend. We talked about
it's like 82.
Yeah,
I think is when it ends.
But like, I think we're
starts.
we're Generation Y, especially in how they classify them. Mm-hmm. Because millennials are more those kids who are constantly on their phone. Like, they grew up with technology.
Well, I mean,
that's all they know.
Right.
I see, like, kids born in the 90s are millennials.
Right, but
I know
it's
the
also
technicality of...
It's just... Because we grew up with that stuff, too, and I can see that. Like, I think about, my sister, because she's 10 years older than me, so there's that definite, like, difference.
She's Generation X.
Right. But I think because I've always surrounded myself with older friends, and I mean, you're a little bit older than me. I've always kind of leaned towards a more mature and like the mindset of the generation before me. Anyway, let's not go down that road right now.
We're Generation Y.
Anyway, so do we have anything else we wanted to cover today? Besides our question, of course, but before we dive into that.
Not that I recall.
Okay. I did have a thing I thought I'd never say that's been popping up a lot.
Oh, crap. I'm sorry. Yeah, I did too.
Because one of the pouches our dear, dear daughter eats is made by the Gerber Company, so it has the baby on it. And I said it once, I was like, that's weird, but then I just keep saying it is, do you want to eat the baby? Because she gets really excited and she says, baby, baby.
And she kisses the pouch.
Right, she gives the baby on the pouch kisses. Eat the baby. I said that to her like multiple times one day, and I'm like, I should probably not say that one.
You're going to catch her chewing on the kid next door. She and then we were eating a pouch, and it has a bee on it, and she likes bees. And I was like, look, Sydney, it's a little bee. And she's like, bee? And then she kisses it. It's adorable.
So sweet.
You got so excited about saying something.
I did, because I completely forgot Sydney had a play date last weekend with her little friends, her little twinsy friends. Shelby. Hi, Shelby.
Did you guys put them in a box and have little cage matches?
No, but I mean, Sydney was headbutting them. Remember, I told you about that.
That's my girl.
It was really great.
You kids
Shelby,
are going down, Shelbs.
I hope Shelby doesn't care. I'm sharing this much about her family. I won't say names, but Shelby has a 3-year-old and then twins that are just 11 weeks younger than Sid, like 2 months, roundabout 8 weeks. Anyway,
October
details.
to December.
Right. So it was so fun to watch them like interact. Well, sort of interact. Because Sydney's not used to being around other kids her age.
She just stares at him for a while.
But the twins are, because they're twins, so there's 2 of them. So it's really good. I really enjoyed it. I went better than I thought it would. I was worried that she would just like take their toys, which Shelby's like, they're used to that. That's all they do all day long. So.
I had a thing I never thought I'd say.
Oh, yes?
And it's a pretty good one. I'm just going to say what it is and then tell the story because then you can be like, what the hell?
Okay.
This is the quote. Sydney, stop putting Allie on your vagina. So, context. We use proper words because we don't want the kid to be in science class and going, well, the hoo-hoo dilly is right here, you know.
Well,
anyway.
It's their body parts.
Yeah,
you
body
don't call
parts.
your ear oh, that's your eerie.
Yeah.
Ooh. It's your ear.
Your eerie ooh.
I don't know.
Anyway, but we like to use proper words because it demystifies them. If you use a fun word for something that makes when they say the real world, the kids actually subconsciously think that they're getting in trouble or they're being mischievous by saying
or
it.
Right, or that it's
Or that they think it's
embarrassing
funny
or
or
they can't
yeah.
talk about it. Like it's just a better
And
way to approach
years
it.
down the line, when those things are demystified, these kids are going to be okay to like go to the doctor when they have a problem to freely talk about and communicate with things. So anyway, there's a science behind it. Anyway, so that's why we use the real words. Sydney's sleeping pal.
It's her little lovey
Her animal thing. It's a
comfort item.
comfort thing. It's a little owl and it has a blanket on it and its name is Owlie and it's adorable. Because she goes, owie. It's so cute.
It's so sweet.
And she's been having some trouble with W's lately, and so sometimes she calls it Albie. It's so cute. Anyway, she thought it was so funny to take Allie when I was trying to change her diaper, and she kept taking Allie, laughing, and like putting Allie in
the bad
Yeah.
place for Allie to be. In the line of fire.
And like, okay, at first it was at a pee. But she had Allie in a poop too at once, and Allie didn't make the poop. I think that's the one where I was like, I need help.
I think it was.
Sydney's been on a let's touch the poop thing lately.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, there was she was kept putting Allie on her vag when I was trying to change her pee diaper, and it was just like, Sydney, stop putting Allie on your vagina, and she just kind of giggles at me and does it again because she thinks it's funny. Whatever keeps the kids happy, I guess. Little weirdos. Okay, that was my weird
That is
thing
very
that I
weird.
never thought I would say.
No.
I said another one, but I can't remember.
That's okay.
Riveting stuff.
I mean, really.
I should start writing them. I should have wrote it. I was driving. That's why. Yeah. So.
Okay.
That's that.
I think we're ready
Okay.
for a big... So, just to warn listeners, not warn, but tell you, the email's a little long, but I am going to read it because it's all very...
It's not that long.
Well, it's not super long, but...
I think we've had longer, so it's okay.
We need to read the whole thing
Yes,
because...
there's lots of good information. It's
Right.
It's a good one. And
is.
it's one that I think a lot of people are going to go like, man, I have that problem too.
And I'll say, disclaimer, this listener is brave, and she told us at the end we didn't have to make up a fake name, so we're just going to use her name. This is an email that came from Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Thank you so much for writing it.
Really, we really appreciate it, and we hope we can help you out. Before we jump in, though, we are not professionals. I'm sure you know that by now. But
Yeah. We use swear words.
we do, and we try to... We're serious about giving our opinions, and we think it's good advice. But please don't sue us. So we're not like
We have no
money. Like,
if you would
none.
like to sue us to claim our debt,
you
go
can
right ahead.
totally have
Yeah.
that. I don't think
You can have it.
you don't want that. I mean, no one wants that.
and we are going to also say that we pride ourselves on not sugarcoating and giving it to you straight.
Right. And I mean, we don't know you, so that's like easier too, because it's like, you don't know us, we don't know you.
Yeah.
And that could be why she felt compelled to write in, because like,
It's a third party with no
yeah, we
interest.
don't have any stake in this, besides that we want to help you. So let's get on with it, right? Let me take
Correct.
a sip here. Okay. Lisa writes, hello. I just started listening to your show and I enjoy it. I have a couple of questions and/or a topic for discussion for you guys. I'm 44 years old and I have 2 grown kids. My son is 21 and lives with his girlfriend, and my daughter is 19 and in her senior year in high school. She still lives with me. I have a boyfriend 2 years yesterday. Congratulations. 2 years is a big deal. And he is a little younger than me. He's 36. He has never been married and doesn't have any kids. That's a rarity, I feel like, these days. Just my Sarah's little 2 cents on that. So that's a achievement right there. There are a couple questions, and I'm hoping you can give me some insight. First off, we have nothing in common at all. Is that necessary? For lack of a better way to put it. And as stupid as that sounds, if you really think about it. There are so many reasons I love him. The main one is how good he is with my adult kids. And believe me, my daughter likes no one. That's funny.
I like that.
Yeah. He is funny and always makes me laugh. And I'm a big believer in laughter being so healthy for many reasons. Anyway, I could go on about all the reasons I fell in love with him, but that isn't the reason I emailed. It is those couple lingering negative things I can't stop thinking about. The one is we have nothing in common. He does nothing. He works and comes home and lays in bed and watches TV the rest of the night. He goes to bed at 8 p.m. on workdays, which is fine, except I'm a night owl. I'm usually in bed by midnight. The weekends he stays in bed watching TV, resting for his Monday workday. If I ask him to come with me to go spend time with the kids, he will come but gets antsy pretty quick. If I ask him to do something with me, he'll do it. He just doesn't have his own things to do or that he wants to do. He has no drive. Nothing excites him at all except sex. And I'm serious. I have never seen him excited about anything unless it's sex. The other thing is he is extremely insecure. If I'm not physically with him, he thinks I am cheating on him. And if I am with him, but on the computer, he thinks I am talking to another man online or texting someone on my phone. He thinks that I lie about everything I say. He says he makes these crazy stories in his head that I am cheating and or lying to him about everything. His past relationships were very dysfunctional. One of his past relationships, he walked in on her having sex with his best friend at the time. That's rough. And another one was pregnant with his child and had an abortion because she didn't know who the father was. That's also really rough. So he has a hard time trusting, obviously, but I shouldn't suffer for what they did. Totally right on, Lisa. You shouldn't. Okay, so Lisa concludes. So basically, I'm wondering if couples can have a good life together if they have nothing in common. And please help with some advice on helping me convince him I am honest and I am not a cheater, or any and all advice would be greatly appreciated. And then she tells us we can use her name. So thank you so much for writing, Lisa. Where to begin? Okay.
We will split this into 2. The easy one and the not so easy one.
Right.
Okay, the easy one. Can couples have a good life together if they have nothing in common? Of course. So in common, sure. Like me and Sarah we've talked in, which episode was that?
Episode 1, even.
Oh yeah, I think we've touched on it a couple times.
We have.
And we touched on episode 5, Go Jousting.
Mm-hmm.
We touched on I believe it was Supergirl had a question about having interests with her new relationship after a very long relationship. So you can reference that episode for that angle. But the long story short was, no, it's not required to be into everything.
It's almost better that you're not, because
I think it keeps things more interesting.
Yeah, and you're still your own person. Like, you have to live with you in your head. I'm a strong believer of that, and you have to have your own interests. So I don't think that is anything you should worry about.
But the troubling thing is so I just highlighted a couple little keywords that jumped out at me. It was he has no drive, nothing excites him, comes home, lays in bed, watches TV. So those are the no drive, I would say, is a bit of a red flag of like, you know, I don't know the guy. I've never met the guy. Like, maybe I don't know. I pictured kind of mopey, and it could be one of those things. And I am very guilty of this. I'm very indignant, and I want everything to be my idea. And Sarah knows, like, she'll convince me, and I'll be all like, okay, fine, we can go do this thing. And I totally have fun when we actually do it.
Go-karts. I want to go do go-karts. And
we'll
he,
get there.
Still won't.
However, I mean, I don't think that's as big of a problem as it sounds like. Because I do want to point out...
What, that he has no interests?
What? No, I mean that you have nothing in common.
Okay, right.
It's not a big a problem as it sounds like. The thing that he has no interest, and what's funny is in our pre-show rundown, we're talking about, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? Right. But the thing we both agreed on is how the problem of the no interests and no hobbies and such kind of bleeds into your second question.
Right.
So we're going to get there.
Right.
But so it's okay to not have your interests together, but seeing as how his interest is just relaxing and watching TV, I'm going to say technically isn't that in itself an interest, a thing that he seems to like to do.
Right. So
maybe try to find a way to bridge the gap with that.
Mm-hmm.
So we wrote down a couple little ideas to try. So if he likes to watch TV, one of the things that me and Sarah love doing, in every episode we talk about what show we've been binge watching. We find a show we haven't watched and we start watching it. And if the other one watches it without the other one, we're like, what the hell, man?
Right. Like, that's like the big no-no.
He likes watching TV. Find something on TV. Like, go through, if you have apps or something, find a show you've never seen. Or, heck, even find one you've never heard of and be like, let's watch the first episode of this together.
Let me throw out there, like, in the age of smartphones, try to put your phone away and, like, consciously, like, just say, I'm going to sit and watch this show with my significant other because I care about them. And it's this thing that I like to think of as, like, intentional. Like, you're spending time with a person when you're watching a show with them. But it's intentional time when you're like, I'm not going to have any other distractions. And I know it's silly because it's just
tough in this day and age.
But it's hard. Like, especially when you're busy and you have kids and you work and you feel this, like, pull to your smartphone, to your online world.
I hope I'm not missing anything.
And you're totally not. Just all the horrible news in the world and people posting pictures of their babies or
they're not
like
that cute.
Kids.
Spoiler alert.
But
ours is cuter.
But yeah, just try and I know you mentioned that you're kind of the night owl and he goes to bed early. We live that dynamic pretty much. I mean,
that we do.
Like I'm an early bird. It took me a long time to admit it to myself, but I really am. Like I'm a get up and go type of person.
I am not.
And it's not so much that I don't like staying up late, because occasionally I do, but I get up so early that I get tired and I want to go to bed.
Sarah sometimes gets up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. So that means she's going to go to bed at like 8 o'clock. So
I mean, it's usually hits around 9.
I know. Well, I mean, you can like be in bed.
Right.
But you're going to be asleep by 9.
Right.
Whereas like I'm usually, we're almost the same. I'm usually, as the question.
Right.
We're almost the same as Lisa here, where I'm usually asleep by 11 or 12.
Right.
And I'm just biologically...
And some people are.
Just can't.
I've read up on it, actually, because I used to... It didn't bother me, but I'm like, is it inherently like I was like, is it a Luke thing, or is it something that a lot of people deal with? And it's a lot of people deal with that.
And she's like, put your phone away, or and I have to like watch TV or something to turn off my brain, and like, maybe the screens are
But what I try to do,
we're getting off subject.
We are. But what I was getting at was
we have the same problem.
I try to kind of.
It's not a problem.
It's not really. I try to balance it. I don't always go to bed super early. I try to, like, a couple nights a week, I'll be like, I'll push through.
Yeah.
And we'll hang out and we'll watch a show. Usually. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's ever a night we do anything else. Not usually. During the week, at least. But on the weekend, sometimes we'll watch a movie instead, or we do a podcast.
And one thing that Lisa's kids are grown.
Right.
So the one thing that she doesn't have to deal with is, like, the weekend thing is well, if we stay up late, we got to wait on the baby getting up. But like, you don't have that problem, so that's good.
Right.
I can't wait for that.
So maybe talk to him about, like...
Meet in the middle.
Try and maybe if you find a new show to watch together, like, stay up just, like, a little bit later, just to spend a little extra time, like, together.
Well, and in this day and age of on demand, you can start watching the show at 5 o'clock, get a couple episodes in, have
Right.
a chat about it over dinner,
Right.
and it's like your guys' thing.
Yeah.
And here are some shows that Sarah and I have watched either together
Trying to
or that we've
think.
been
So many.
binge. I'm just going to rattle some off.
Okay.
Rome on HBO.
I didn't watch that with you.
You did not. You watched a couple episodes.
Yeah. That was a long time
Homeland
ago.
Security or Homeland.
Homeland.
I almost said Homeland Security. Not the department. Homeland on Showtime.
It's a good one.
The Sopranos. I watched that by myself, and then Sarah started watching it
Yeah.
years later.
On
like
my
2 years
maternity
ago.
leave.
And I was like, yeah, I'm going to watch this with you. Walking Dead. Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, Orange is the New Black.
Gilmore Girls.
Stranger Things.
The Simpsons.
Futurama.
What's that doctor show with that guy?
That's all you're giving me.
It's
House? No, we never watched House.
no, the guys that are best friends. We didn't watch this, but I know it's a show that people.
The guys that are best friends.
Yeah, it's
The doctor
Zach
show.
Braff.
Oh, Scrubs.
Scrubs.
People do love
There.
that show.
Scrubs.
We never got into that.
It's not. It's one of the ones I know we would like, but I'm like, we just need to sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
Friends. Did you say Friends
yeah.
yet?
No, I don't know.
If you're into reality TV, I highly suggest Project Runway. It's a really good show, and the Lifetime app has from like season 5 on. And there's also Project Runway All Stars, Project Runway Junior, and that's a good conversational show because you get to talk about the stuff.
It is.
And even if your boyfriend's a manly man, that's okay. I too am a manly man, but that doesn't mean you can't appreciate the craftsmanship of a finely sewn garment.
Okay.
So I'm just
So
saying, like, there's
that's the
some
TV
things.
angle.
So
There's
that
that.
was one of my suggestions.
I had another suggestion for Lisa, talking about how he will go out if you ask, but he just doesn't have his own things. I mean, I kind of know men. I'm assuming he likes to eat.
We do like food.
So, and I feel like if he watches a lot of TV, he might be good at trivia. Bars,
Bar trivia.
bar trivia night. Go out for trivia.
Most bars have it on the same night.
Yeah.
Every week. And that can be like, we look forward to Trivia Tuesday.
Right. And I mean, and even if
If the bar has
maybe
tacos, then it's Trivia Taco Tuesday.
most bars have TVs too. So even if he's like, this is lame, I don't like this, he's got a TV to watch, and at least you're out,
That's a good idea.
you know?
Tell him instead of sitting in bed watching TV, he can sit at a bar with you and you guys can watch something and talk about it.
Yeah.
The biggest
So-
thing is it doesn't matter what you're doing as long as you're
doesn't.
doing it together.
Right. And it could be that he thinks he doesn't have any interests. It could just be that, like, he spent a lot of time in past relationships, it seems like, having a lot of struggles and negative experiences, and you might have to be the one that snaps him out of that and
We're
getting
getting ahead
him.
of ourselves.
We
Let's-
are. But what I'm saying is, like, it could be that, like, he used to have interests, but he was told those interests were stupid or dumb or not worth the time or what have you, that he just gave up on
Make
interests.
sure you return to that point later because
I will.
I know, but I'm saying that's a great point. I can build off that.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can go right into it because,
We had a couple other suggestions.
oh, I don't. You go.
Yeah,
You go, boy.
try to
Oh, that
have-
was bad.
I think a lot of it is like we do forgive if you can hear our cat mewing at us. She's an annoying little turd. She's so cute. A lot of these things are kind of like I don't want to say date night, but like event
right.
nights.
Movie.
Like
Go to a
having
movie.
A night every week that's like that's the thing you look forward to.
Right.
And it can like structure. Yeah, sometimes it can be predictable and boring, but it's also like that's the thing you do. Like for me and Sarah, well, it was Sunday, but now it's up late, so now Monday is Walking Dead Monday. It's we look forward to it. Ooh, it's also last week tonight Monday. So
Right.
the kids go to bed. We can't stay up late enough to watch them on Sunday because we get tired.
Weekends have been busy
Well,
lately.
Sarah, I can stay up. Sarah cannot.
Well, if it's a good episode. The episodes lately have been filler episodes, and I just fall asleep.
Anyway, our point is we look forward to that every Monday.
We do.
And it's like sometimes we'll have a drink or something and be like, all right, Walking Dead time. And last week tonight's funny. John Oliver's hilarious. And it's a good satire show. So it's just something we like to watch together.
We watched that before Walking Dead because, sadly, Last Week Tonight is more spirit dampening than a show about the zombie apocalypse right now.
They basically make fun of the news.
Not to get political on you guys, but that's honestly how I feel. Like, the first week we've done this lineup on Mondays was this past week, and Luke's like, which one should we watch first? I'm like, Last Week Tonight, because we need a palate cleanser of a zombie show.
Zombie apocalypse. Wouldn't that be nice?
Anyway.
May I interject real quick today?
Yes.
Speaking of wishing for a zombie apocalypse.
Oh, Jesus. Wait, can I do the lead in?
Yes.
So, our middle child is visiting with her mom this weekend. So we're a little tripod of...
She didn't have school Friday, so she got a nice long weekend with her mom, which is great.
So we were just the tripod this weekend, and I'm like, we need to go to the grocery. We had some other errands to run.
And I had to go to the thrift store because I've been looking for a cassette player, which, remember those? For another project. And I was like, hey, I was going to go to the thrift store. So when you get back from your class... You're
just like, I'll go to the thrift store and I'll go to Kroger. I'm like, by the time you're going to get home, you're not going to have any time to spend with us. I said, let's just go together. She's older now. She's doing good. She likes people.
Yeah. So, bad idea. Kroger was...
Well, Sydney was fine.
By the way...
She did well.
Regionally, Kroger's it's one of the big grocery stores around here.
Yeah.
It's just in case you're in a part of the country that doesn't have a Kroger.
It's just a supermarket.
Yeah.
They have huge ones with like clothes and stuff now.
So, yeah.
We went to that as a Starbucks.
Packed. And I don't like people much sometimes. So.
He freaked out a little.
There's people everywhere, and there's this woman that had like kids orbiting her, and one of them was wandering off, and she was just so calm about it, and she's just like, "Come on," and I was like, I'd be like, "Get that big little shit! Somebody's gonna steal you!" Yeah, and then it's that whole thing where people stand in your way, and you're just like, "Excuse me," and they look at you like, "Did you just ask me to move?"
So I'm with the cart and the baby, and I look up, and Luke had run to grab something, and the look on his face was like a mix of like rage and anxiety, and just like all mixed. I was like, "What is going on?" And he's like, "There's so many people."
So, long story short, zombie apocalypse. Not so bad. Moving on.
Right. So my other suggestion, I realized I did forget to throw one out there. Go to a movie.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's... go to a movie. It's a date night.
Like, people act... Like, sometimes I feel like people make things a little bit harder than they need to be.
Find out when your local... One thing we do is find out... Well, before the kids. Find out when your local theater has their, like, cheapo night.
Right.
We go like cheap matinee. Sunday they have cheap matinees at our local theater.
That's what we do for our date days.
And like we just go and check out a movie, and we'll talk about the movie over like a little brunch afterwards or something. And just make it that's our movie night, and we go do that every week.
I know it might feel like, Lisa, that you're like a cruise director of your life, but like that's part of it when you're the lady. It just happens that way, that you end up being the planner. Like, it just does. I mean, occasionally, yes, my doting husband makes plans for us. But typically, I'm the organizer.
I planned our vacation. That sucked.
Never, ever, you're not allowed to plan anything else ever again.
Nope, I'm done. We do have to wrap this part of the question up, because we're almost at 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
I think this part of the question is going to take at least half an hour.
Well, yeah, but this is important stuff. This is
because it builds.
And like, these are they're the action items to the easy part. Like, you don't feel like he has interest? Well, we'll get to some more stuff on that. But whatever you like to do with him, make him do it. Eventually, he's going to like it.
Yeah, and you can say...
And tell him it's important to you. Like, honestly... Just be like, hey.
It's okay to go like, hey, I'm doing this thing. I'd like for you to come with me.
Right.
Say it nice, but not too nice. Like you're asking a question, but it's not a question.
Right.
That thing women do.
And I do want to give him a little bit of credit. Like, it sounds like the good things that you pointed out about him, like he makes you laugh and you really think that's important, and it really is. Like, I totally agree with you there. And the fact that like your teenage daughter,
may I suggest going to an open mic night at your local comedy club?
That's a good idea. Yeah.
I was joking, but you never know.
No, I think that's a really great idea. Get him out of the house, get him laughing. Maybe he's a heckler.
Ooh, that would be good.
That would. I don't know if I don't think
you throw the dart at enough plate. You throw enough darts, you're going to hit a target at some point. Try some different things until you guys find your thing.
Right.
And like, it doesn't matter if he doesn't have any interest, as long as he can find just the one that you guys can share together. That he can be like, before he watches TV and goes to bed, he can go, "That was fun," and then he rolls over and goes to sleep. Mm-hmm. That's all you need is a good thought before you go to sleep.
Okay.
So,
do we want to move into phase 2?
Yes.
The nitty gritty.
Phase 2. Please help with some advice on helping me to convince him I am honest and I am not a cheater, et cetera, et cetera.
Can I just...
So, and that he's very insecure, and he had the past of people cheating on him and the abortion thing, and like, holy crap.
Okay. Before we jump into everything else, I have to I wrote this down. 2 years in, you should not have to convince him of those things. In my I understand his plight, but...
Which I will get to.
Right. Because we've lived this. Maybe not to this extent in this exact details.
We're going to talk about the cause. We're going to talk about the effects, and then we're going to talk about ways to fix it.
Right. But, I feel like if you have to convince him too strongly without doing some other things we're going to talk about first, that's just a really big red flag to me. Because if he's so far gone with his, relationship skills that he can't trust you at all, even though it sounds like you guys do have a good thing.
Right.
Oh, I don't like that. You don't deserve to have to do that.
Let me go ahead and say the biggest thing I wrote down, and this is something, Lisa, that you need to tell yourself as sort of a personal mantra. The thing where you're helping me convince him that I am honest and blah, blah, blah. I treats me as if I am cheating when you in the whole thing when I'm with him, but on the computer he thinks I'm talking to another man. Okay. Those are not you problems. Those are him problems. Mm-hmm. And I say that in a nice and understanding way because I have been through something very similar where I was the person who is distrustful and like that. So just have that be your personal mantra. It is absolutely not you. You are not the problem. And honestly, you shouldn't have to convince him of anything.
You shouldn't have to fix that for him either.
Right. So, the effect of it is that I have been through a similar
past relationship.
Similar, relationships.
Well, right. Experiences.
String of experiences.
Right.
And it goes even all the way back to high school. Some things that I've been through was... the girl breaking up with me because I was too nice, direct quote. In high school, I was cheated on 4 times. As an adult, once. And just other things here and there where you're just like, what the heck, man? Why does this keep happening to me? And I have also been in a relationship that was extremely unhealthy and absolutely changed the way I react to things, and honestly, it changed the way I accepted love and appreciation from other people. Because I always thought, what's your angle? You're scamming me. What are you trying to do? So being in relationships like that can really have a toll on someone, and you got to figure, if he is the clay, and those relationships are the things that molded the clay, what's that final thing going to look like? It's going to look like something that's been molded by bullshit.
Right.
So, point being, is you got to help him unmold that. You got to help him help himself unmold that. Mm-hmm. So, one of the biggest things that helped me, and I'll be perfectly honest, was meeting my lovely wife here.
Aww.
She really helped me. And that she was a no bullshit relationship, where it wasn't all the just all the typical things that are in an unhealthy relationship that you're just really, it's constant this and that, and you're just ugh.
And it sounds like they have that.
Yes,
they're
and
adults.
that's very good.
And
it takes a while to shake that off.
It does.
So,
it took a couple years for you.
Yeah. And it's, and I will say one of my, I've always been very distrustful because of being cheated on a lot of times. And you start to go, well, it keeps happening, so what's wrong with me? That honestly, like in his brain, he probably thinks something's wrong with him because
Well,
that happened.
and you come to expect it.
Exactly.
And that's probably where part of his
exactly.
insecurity and his accusations.
And I do want to say some people do fall into projection of like they project their own guilt onto you. But reading your question, I don't think that's the case.
I don't think it is either.
Because a lot of people, like somebody who's cheating on you will constantly accuse you of cheating, if that makes sense. Some people do that. But I just want to, I can't say, I don't know the reality of everything, but I think I can, with a bit of
with the
assurance, confidence, say that, like, I don't think that's the case.
And with the context of, like, his very dysfunctional past relationships.
The dysfunctional past, absolutely.
And it's not, okay, and I'll say this. I don't feel like it doesn't justify his behavior towards you at all.
No.
I know you feel like it does because I spent a few years.
So I didn't, let me finish up
letting
something
it
before
justify
you finish
yours.
So, on top of being cheated on a ton and, like, always being walked over, I was in a relationship that was abusive. Mm-hmm. And it was somebody who tore me down. And basically, I mean, I've been called a piece of shit more times than I'd like to know. And things like that. And you start to believe it after a while. And this particular relationship, there'd be things where, like, they'd be nice for a little while, and I eventually figured out, oh, they're manipulating me. They'd be nice, and then, like, the other shoe would drop, and she's like, oh. So that convinced me, like, oh, anytime somebody's being nice, they're just trying to trick me. And they would take things that you love, and just, like, I love music and stuff, and they'd tell you, like, oh, that's stupid. You're never going to amount to anything. Stuff like that. And then I get in the relationship with Sarah, and perhaps some of those things she said or did, I reacted like she was these people or this person. And I will let Sarah take it from here.
Yeah, so there was, I don't know them, like, off the top of my head, the instances, but multiple times where, and most of the time it was just discussions, and it wasn't said with any malice for me, but I do remember one time we were having a disagreement, and I was just like, I'm not them. Like, you have to stop punishing me and misconstruing things I say and do as the same type of action that you were treated with in the past, because I'm a different person. I'm not them. And I mean, I probably was 2 or 3 years into our relationship before I had to stop bringing that up and stop reminding him that I'm my own person. Like, this is now. I'm sorry that they were awful to you, and I recognize that you're a different person.
But she wasn't. It sounds really stupid, but I had to work to accept that she wasn't the person who did those things to me, because like, I just lumped her, pretty much like lumped women into, like, you're just gonna hurt me eventually.
Exactly.
But
and I kind of feel like that
Sarah's hit me a couple of times.
Oh, but stop it!
It didn't hurt that bad. I'm just kidding. She's never hit me.
Him. I don't think I've even ever thrown anything at you.
Somebody help me.
Stop it. Do you want to order an angel shot?
What episode was that?
That was episode 1, I think. Jeez. 1 or 2. Anyway, what I understand.
Yeah,
because I feel like you're trying to justify his behavior with talking about his past relationships. I understand that sentiment completely, and that's great that you're understanding of his behavior, because, like, he needs that. He really needs that. But I think he needs a hobby, because it's not helping him with his own issues with his past relationships. Sitting around watching TV all the time, he's bored.
Right. May I substitute the word hobby with the word outlet?
Or outlet,
He needs an outlet.
Because I feel like he's probably a little anxious of a person because of his trust issues. And you mentioned that he gets antsy when he does go out to do things. And it's not antsy. He's anxious.
Yes. Which we will get to that.
Right.
So I can say, me personally, like, yes, I still deal with those demons of the past. And, like, it's something I'll probably deal with the rest of my life. And it's just, and I constantly have to kind of tell myself, like, you have to do a self-affirmation of, like, I'm a good person. Mm-hmm. And I know that those people did bad things to me, and I can't control that. I can't take it away, but I'm a good person, and that doesn't make me any not gooder.
Well, and you can't change how they treated you, but you can change
How you react.
how you're reacting to it still. Like,
right. And how you treat other people.
Right. And
also remember that those people who treat you bad, and this is more speaking to him, they want you to be miserable.
well, but it's also like those people who treat you like that, they're miserable themselves.
Exactly.
Oh,
they want
God.
you to be miserable because they're miserable people.
They're just sad,
and if you
angry,
let yourself be miserable,
awful humans.
then you done let the terrorists win. So,
But
the thing I was saying is just maybe find him an outlet or something. Like, gosh, there's so many things you could do. I play music and I play hockey. When I'm playing music or playing hockey, every single worry and thought exit my head. I think of nothing except for that in front of me. Sara works out and does all sorts of stuff. So having an outlet, I think, would be really helpful.
Well, and you said that sex is the only thing that excites him.
So saying that's you guys just do it all the time, 24/7 sex.
No, I'm saying like that's a prime example. Like I doubt he's thinking about his anxiety and his worries when you guys are doing it. That's why it excites him, because his brain probably turns off a little bit. I'm not done.
Okay. I have a big thing to say about sex in this situation.
I had it, then I lost it, and then I had it, and then I lost it again.
You should have wrote it down.
I should have. You might honestly have to be very literal with him, going back to what I said just a little bit ago about telling him, like, I'm not your past relationships. Like, you're kind of punishing me for all of their misdeeds. Yes. You also need to remind him, if you haven't given him any reason to worry about cheating, he needs to stop worrying about it. Yeah. Like, it's not okay.
Put that shit on Front Street and, like, don't sugarcoat it.
Right,
like,
but don't be mean. But just be like, like.
But maybe say it like a person
you don't have any reason to doubt me. Why are you doubting me? Simply because of your past? Okay, I acknowledge that. But we've been together for 2 years.
When Sara said it to me, I honestly, I don't remember the whole event. It's that whole thing, like in, what was that movie with the memories?
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
No, the cartoon.
Cartoon with
where
the memories.
It was the girl with the memories and she played hockey.
Oh,
it was a Pixar movie.
Inside Out.
Yes,
this is a good
what
movie.
I really loved about that, this is a core memory. Mm-hmm. So like I always have those core memories that are bits of it. I remember not what Sara said, but I remember her tone when she said it, of like, I'm not her. Mm-hmm. Don't treat me like I'm her. Mm-hmm. And like she was stern enough where I was just like, it snapped me kind of into reality of like, oh shit, you're right. You're not her. You're better than her. You're
right.
prettier than her.
Like
I might even marry you one day.
It sounds like he's so preoccupied with what happened to him in the past that he can't even see how great he has it now. And you got to be the one to tell him, hey, look, buddy. Like
maybe copy and paste that little bit of the email that talks about how he's funny and makes you laugh and all that good stuff. Copy and paste that and say, this is what I wrote to complete strangers.
About you.
Like, so,
right.
Suck it. Things are good.
Right. Like, it's hard to get out of your own head sometimes, and I spend a lot of time in mine, so I can understand.
There's so much to talk about here that I don't want to dwell on too many things, because I have so many points to make.
What else are we going after here?
Well, no, I just have a lot to talk about with this particular question.
Okay, you go ahead.
Just because I honestly relate to this man a lot.
I know. When I read it, I was like, oh, wow.
Like, it was so strange reading this. Like, not the exact circumstances, because I'm like, well, shit, Sara and I are married and have a strong marriage now. And, like, we were in this place.
Right.
At probably 1 to 2 years into our relationship.
Oh, yeah.
So it's okay. Mm-hmm. The thing I wanted to talk about first was about, I highlighted the words insecurity, thinks I'm cheating on him. And then the whole thing, I've never seen him excited about anything unless it's sex. He has no drive. Nothing excites him at all, in parentheses, except sex. So here is something to always remember. It's the whole men are from Mars, women are from Venus thing, but this is absolutely true. Women need love to have sex.
Affection.
Men need sex to feel loved. It is so true. And it's just a biological thing, and it's one of those stupid nature things that we evolved into this thing, and now it's so funny how our pieces don't quite fit together, but it's like, as humans, we have to learn to make it work. But part of that is understanding each other and understanding each other's problems and meeting somewhere in the middle. Point being, that I saw that, I put a big highlight on those, because that tells me that, like, he feels such a strong connection to you during the sex, which is good. That's great.
Are we going to have the sex now? I just had to say that because of the way you said the sex.
But I'm saying, like, that is a good thing, and that's a good thing to build off of. So sex for an honest man is the strongest connection you can feel to somebody you love, and that's the honest truth. It's, I don't know how women feel physiologically, but like, there's just, I don't know, it's like a weird celestial feeling of, like, just feeling so connected to somebody.
No, we have that too.
Yeah. What I'm saying is,
more
like,
when you snuggle after doing it, but
see, that's where you have to be loved to have sex.
Right.
See? How's the weather in Venus? Mars was good till you showed up. Where'd you park that planet? Bad joke. Bad joke. I took it too far. But anyway, what I'm saying is, like, I think that's a good building block. Is like, he still feels that connection there. If he was completely disconnected, he'd just, like, you know, rub one out in the bedroom and go to sleep. But he still gets excited about the sex and everything. So that's, I guess, said it again. That's a good thing, is what I'm saying. So he has the issues, and this goes back to the whole thing of, it's not a you problem, it's a him problem.
But
and I say that in a nice way.
But we understand you wanting to help him and fix this, because you're happy with him and you love him, and women are fixers. We fix things. It's what we do.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Or at least the good ones.
But we're saying, take it off your plate, because it's not, the problem is not you.
Right. That's
the most important thing to have a little mantra right now.
Right.
So now we're moving on to the ways to fix it.
Well, I already touched on what I think she needs to do, but what do you think?
Well, Sarah suggested the whole, and again, speaking as somebody who went through this with a Sarah, is she laid it down.
You have to be very direct.
Be direct. And I will tell you, another difference between men and women. Women like to dance around subjects and give you hints and stuff. Men, tell us absolutely directly with the words that you mean. Don't say, you know, here's a cool analogy that I hope you get that makes my point across, and you're not, and then you're going to be confused about it later, and problem continues. No, tell him directly. I am not these people. Stop treating me like these people. Let's help fix your problem.
Well, not even treating, it's that whole, like, stop taking it, like, I know he had been conditioned basically from these bad relationships to anticipate cheating, but he doesn't have any reason,
right?
Unless there's something Lisa's not telling us, which we don't know. But I would hope that there's not.
I doubt that. If somebody who's concerned enough to write into complete strangers,
right,
is going about it. You're going about it the absolute correct way. So some things, you know, it's, besides being absolutely direct and having a conversation, communication, obviously, always. You have
to be transparent with them.
You've been together 2 years, so it's a relationship. It might not hurt to go to couples therapy,
right?
And it's not what you see on TV and stuff, of, like, the doctor's going to pin you against each other and stuff. It's having a safe playing field to get your feelings out and talk, and then have an absolutely, like, level third party go, like, interesting, how do you feel about that? Okay, here's what I'm seeing.
Right.
That can help. A lot of and Sarah brought this up about he's feeling anxious about things and all stuff. Is it beyond the realm of possibility that he may have either had or developed some anxiety problems? I deal with it, and it's okay. And a lot of mine stems from, and it's funny, I hate using the word, but a doctor, like a literal psychiatrist, told me, she's like, oh, you have post-traumatic stress disorder.
From dealing with
a past relationship. And I'm like,
I mean, let's
what? I was
at least
honestly,
give
like,
a little credit to you being told that. The past relationship he's speaking about was ridiculously mentally and emotionally abusive. She has a personality disorder that's undiagnosed, like we know from years of dealing with her. So, I mean, it was very extreme, but it sounds like he may have gone through something similar.
And the things she did and said and stuff, like, it left a mark. And when the doctor told me that, I was like, no, that's like what soldiers get. And I was like, I don't want to. And she's like, no, that's what's happening.
And let me share that when he did go talk to that doctor a few times, he would come back like in the best moods ever.
It validates
it. It validates your feelings because, I mean, I can tell him all day long that I agree with him and that I totally get it and that he's justified, but I'm supposed to tell him those things.
And I should say, I wrote with the anxiety thing, like maybe go talk to a therapist. And it doesn't have to be anybody who's going to prescribe meds to the guy.
Right.
Like,
it could just be a counselor.
Somebody, so what helped with me talking to this person? And there's a long story as to why I talked to this person, but I don't think we want to get into that yet.
We're not going to go there.
I was like, nothing towards me, but it's a whole thing. People who know me know what it is, but anyway, it helped me to validate because I learned a new word, gaslighting. So what was done to me was I was told enough that I was wrong and that I'm imagining things and that I'm stupid and I'm a piece of shit that you start to believe it. And it's these people who lie, and they're so convincing that you're like, am I the crazy person?
You start to think. You start to believe, and you don't know what to believe and what's truth and what's
laying
lies.
My story out, and like the therapist even pointed out,
you said psychiatrist.
I can't remember if she was a therapist or a psychiatrist.
I think she was a psychiatrist.
I do too. Anyway, she pointed out to me, she's like, you don't have to keep telling me. Because I kept telling her, like, I was like, I know this all sounds unbelievable, but I swear to you it happened. And so she's like, you don't have to keep saying that. I believe you.
Right.
And I was like, hearing somebody say that, who wasn't my wife.
Right.
Because, like, I'm like, yeah, you're supposed to say that. So my whole point with this is, like, going and talking to somebody.
It helps.
Hey, this goes back to bar trivia. Bartenders, best therapists ever.
Right.
But like going and talking to somebody who you don't know, they have no stake in this, and like a good therapist does not sugarcoat to you. I have a very good friend. Sup, Paul, if you happen to listen. He told me once that, because I asked him, I was like, so like, are you nice to your clients? Do you have to tell them, like, and he's like, oh no, I'm absolutely direct with them.
Right.
Like if say you have a woman who's being abusive to her man and she comes in and says, I don't know why he's doing this. I only told him this. He tells them, like, you're abusive.
Right.
He is very honest with them and that helps them self-evaluate.
Right.
So maybe what I'm saying is, like, a good therapist is very honest. Like, maybe he just needs to go talk to somebody.
And I mean, this has nothing to do with our relationship in regards to therapy, but I have sought counseling for anxiety, and it helps. It helps so much. It just it validates.
It helps for somebody else to validate and say, like, your problem is a real problem.
And this is a person whose job it is to like help people with their problems.
Oh, I was going to listen to our bullshit. Imagine if they go home every day and they're just like, ugh.
My counselor cracked up because like she would like give me homework and I would like come back like with notes and she's like, you're doing a very good job at this. I said, I get an A+ at counseling.
A note for our listeners, Sarah's a little brown noser.
I am.
Nose up teacher's bum.
I basically went in once a month and she'd tell me I was completely normal and everything I was dealing with was I had adjustment disorder.
Yeah.
Because I birthed a child and then lost my mind.
It was just like, it wasn't, I don't think it was like quiet postpartum, but it was just like,
it was
just like,
she basically said adjustment disorder with depressive and anxiety, like kind of weaved in there, but not to the extremes.
Yes.
So I didn't completely lose my marbles.
And that goes back to like, I told Sarah during that.
You did.
Saying like, everything's fine. Like, you're doing great.
You did, but you also said you needed to go talk to someone.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Well, because like you don't believe it coming from me because I'm supposed to say those things. So this goes back to,
well, you know what it was?
Lisa is supposed to say these things. I'm not cheating on you.
Right.
I'm on the computer. I'm just playing Minecraft, man.
Right.
I don't know what you do on the computer.
But it's like you don't believe it, and eventually, like, I don't know. It's good to hear from that person who loves you. Like, I want you to be better, but obviously, I'm not the one that can fix you. Like,
yeah,
you need...
And he has to fix himself.
Right.
But some help from a counselor or just a third party. Like, does he got some dude that, like, it's his bro from old times that he can just, like, man, I need to talk to you about some shit.
Right.
It's not going to be manly, but let's watch football and drink tough beer while we talk about my feelings.
Well, and maybe someone who knows...
Come on, that was funny.
It was funny.
Wasn't that funny?
Saw him go through the shit that he went through before to now see him in this good, healthy relationship with
I would
Lisa.
say not talk to the best friend that slept with the ex.
I don't think it's his best friend anymore, I would hope.
Just saying. Like,
maybe not him.
Let's X that person off the list.
But it'd be good for him because that guy can go, dude, you're cool. She's awesome. You know?
It does help when you have a friend that goes like, dude, your girlfriend's all right.
Right? She's all right.
Hey, to a dude, see, this is the Mars Venus thing. All right means like amazing, cool, awesome.
Oh, okay.
Like, she's all right.
Okay.
It's like, she has my approval stamp from man. See, that's the thing. We say stuff directly. I said, she's all right. I didn't say, she's all right. I said, she's all right. It's all in the inflection.
Whatever.
It's like when how was your day? Fine. Bad. How was your day? It was fine. Good. It was fine. Good. See?
Excuse me.
It's all in it. We put it right there.
Okay.
Ask me how my day was.
Oh, God. How was your day, honey?
It's good.
Okay.
See?
Cool.
Now ask me again.
How was your day, honey?
It's good.
It was bad.
No, but I said good. Anyway, see if you have somebody you can talk to. That's it can be a professional, which I highly recommend because reading this, I feel like there is some underlying post-traumatic stress. There is definitely some anxiety there, but you got to lay it out and just tell them like, dude, I'm not these people. He's
got to process those feelings. There's a bad misconception in the world that like men aren't supposed to like do feelings. They're not supposed to have them. They're not supposed to deal with them. Like they're just supposed to shove it all deep down inside. And you know what happens? You get a guy like this who's funny and great and treating his lady really well, but he is so crippled by all those emotions and feelings that he doesn't have any interest, and he's super paranoid that you're gonna. And I mean, you don't deserve that. Like,
don't put it on yourself to have to fix all those things, because like you're gonna need to hire a general contractor. So I hope that covers everything.
Yeah.
But I just have a bottom line. I wrote this down.
Okay.
You've been together 2 years. Can you live with these things?
Right.
If he refuses to seek help and it continues, just ask yourself, go back and read the good things you wrote, and let's review. He's funny. He always makes me laugh. And your daughter likes him, who doesn't like many people. You're a big believer in laughter, and it's healthy. Go on and on about the reasons you fell in love with him. Like, that speaks worlds about how you guys are together. So I feel like this can go in a good direction. So, but like, ask yourself, if these things never resolve themselves, is that something you can live with? If it is something you can live with, mazel tov.
I don't think it is if she wrote us.
Right. If it's something that you're having trouble with and you just can't resolve it, you got to have the conversation with him and with yourself to say, like, where are we going, dude?
Right.
Where's this headed? And we never even really touched on it, the age difference. Like, I don't see anything. There's no problem there.
I mean, it's 8 years.
8 years when you're like 14 and 22 is one thing. But 8 years at
44 and 36.
Right. Like, that's...
I mean, I think it's a non-factor at this point.
Non-factor. You having kids is like probably a slight factor in the whole like having interests thing. And I do think you've been together 2 years. He needs to go to your kids' things and the whole
he does.
Thing. Well, I thought
I guess he gets antsy.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And I don't think it's so much like
He'll
activities. They're like grown children. I think it's more like probably like going to like do something with them, or like go out to dinner.
Maybe with the whole abortion thing. And the whole cheating on thing, I wonder if being around your kids in a happy relationship might make him feel a little uncomfortable about his unresolved issues.
It might.
And again, not a you problem, not a kid's problem.
Right.
It's his problem. And I say that in a very good way because, like, he has these problems and he has to deal with them or else they're going to linger with him. And 20 years from now, he's going to be a bitter old man who's never dealt with these, and
He won't be that old.
he'll be
He'll be a bitter middle-aged man.
yeah, he'll be a bitter middle-aged man bitching about all the people in the grocery store wishing for a zombie apocalypse.
I do call him Old Man Holtzberry.
Well, gee willikers, why do you say that?
When you're driving,
Oh, I'm
it's
so
so angry. And I'm like, you can't change
I'm
them.
a good driver. But
You
I'm
are
an
a good
angry
driver, but man, I think you gave yourself heartburn today.
No, I believe that was my physiology that did that. I had the worst heartburn
was
today.
bad.
We're off subject.
Anyway, I had something else,
hang
but
on,
I
hang on,
lost
hang
it.
on, hang on.
Oh, good. Go ahead. I'm going to try and remember what I was going to say.
So I wrote that thing, like, are those things you can live with? Is there a future? If you're sitting here worrying about all these things and problems and if he refuses to resolve them and get them fixed, is that the future you want? Are you missing out on a future that would be more fulfilling by trying to fix these things?
I have a little bit that goes with
But
that.
that's pretty.
I mean,
And the last thing I wrote was like constantly reread those good things you wrote to us.
right.
And because those were, if somebody wrote that about me and I didn't know it, but then I was like, oh shit, she said that about me?
Right.
Like, it's so reassuring. And like, honestly, maybe share that with them. Not
Right.
the question. I mean, if you want them to listen to this episode, cool.
Yeah. Might be a little tough love, but
Hey dude, what's going on?
I feel
Sorry.
like we gave him a lot of props, though. Like, we talked about, like, the good things, and we really
well, I
felt
compared
for
it
him.
to myself because I've been through this.
Right. And I mean, like, basically, like, I want to address, you can have a good life with someone without having a ton in common with them, or anything at all,
Yeah,
really.
I mean, I honestly felt that as kind of a non-factor.
You're still you, and you're allowed to have interests that don't involve him. Like, we have a whole episode about that. It's episode 1. No, episode 2.
Did we talk about the
One.
thing?
I can't
This
remember.
is something not complete. It's related, but it was kind of the two. We said to come back to it. Sarah, when we were having our pre-show discussion, was like, what if him not having interests is related to a past relationship telling him his interests were stupid or something?
Yeah, I really feel like that.
And
may
like
have
he has no
happened.
motivation for interest because he's like, oh, they're just stupid.
Right, he was convinced
You know
in
what
the
I mean?
past that the things he was interested in were so dumb, and he was probably put down about them enough.
Reason being is that is one of the things that I went through.
Right.
And having to know that like your interests are okay.
So
because
he's
they're yours.
afraid to voice what they are, or even try and find new ones.
Just a thought. Like,
Yeah.
we can't say if that's true, but I just
Right.
thought it was an interesting avenue. So I don't really have much
I
more
wasn't
to add.
done.
No, I was going to say I don't really have much more to add if you
Okay.
wanted to say your piece.
Well, the thing about, yes, you can have a good life. You can still do what you would like to do. You don't have to spend every waking moment making sure that they're attended to and involved in what you're doing. You're your own person still. That's a very important part, I feel like, of a good relationship. And just, again, like I've already said it, but I'm going to say it again. You shouldn't have to convince him. You should tell him at least a few times in a nice way, I'm not them. You need to stop punishing me for them. But if you haven't given him any reason to doubt you in your guys' relationship, you shouldn't have to convince him of that. Like, bottom line.
Correct.
No one should have to do that in the relationship. They're 50-50. Like,
Yeah.
he needs to put some work into it, sounds like. And he might not even realize that. You're going to have to be the one that tells him, unfortunately. Women are the referees and the planners.
So, final solution. Whoa, not final solution.
That sounds a little definite.
Ultimate solution. Is that better?
No.
Last option. There we go.
These all sound like they're dying.
Well, I was thinking more of like the Germany thing and the 40s. The final solution. Put him in a room.
Stop it.
Do you like my German accent?
It's excellent.
It was not.
It was
don't have to
bad.
Sugarcoat it. Be straight with me. So you did say he's excited about sex and blah, blah, blah. So I will, if none of that works, 24/7. So he comes home from work. Pants off in the bedroom. Do it till what time does he go to bed?
8.
8 o'clock. So sex from off work until 8 o'clock. When he wakes up before work,
Are you just
more
are you
sex.
trying to like exhaust him with it? To prove
no,
a
I'm just
point?
saying it makes him happy. So
She shouldn't have to make him happy 24 hours a day.
this is for if he's listening. So he's
Oh,
like,
I see.
He's like, hey, that's a great idea. Let's do that one. I select the final solution. And then on the weekends, it's like, all right, 1 hour on, 1 hour off. Okay, go.
Oh my goodness.
She said it worked. I mean, I'm just building
Lisa,
on reality.
I really hope that we helped you tonight. Please
Or we
follow
at least
up.
made you giggle and went like,
Right.
oh, these sons of bitches didn't help
They're
me at all.
idiots. I've already thought of all of this. And nothing
You didn't help me
works.
at all, but I'm still going to go tell 5 friends, and then they'll tell 5 friends, and we'll all rate 5s on iTunes.
Right. If you want to send us a follow-up, that would be great.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Definitely keep us posted. Hopefully, maybe.
Yeah, and like
Things
if a
will-
month from now you took some of this advice and some of it worked, and you're like, hey, he went and talked to somebody, and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
He's got an old buddy that he ran into, and they found some common ground, and they talked, and man, he's been so much better. He took up golf. Whatever.
Right.
We'd really like to know that. Little success story.
Right. That'd be great.
That'd be great to hear. But I don't have anything else to add. Do you?
I think we're good.
All right. We usually end the show with things that we've been binge watching, but Sarah and I have been watching shows. Let me first say thank you again, Lisa, for writing in. We didn't really wrap that up.
We didn't. We just kind of were like, I'm done.
Well,
Peace.
this is longer than most episodes.
That's okay.
So, but just thank you for writing
Right.
in.
It was a great one.
We honestly do hope that this helped. So now we can talk about shows we've been binging on. So, and this is.
I don't think I have anything new to add.
That's the thing is you and I haven't really watched anything together
I
except for
haven't
Walking
watched
Dead.
any TV this week.
You watched Santa Clarita Diet.
But that was last week.
That's okay. Baby started whining, so
I think that's our sign to
that's
shut
our
up.
sign to, wrap it up, you guys. I peed. But I've just still rewatching Game of Thrones. Ooh, I did start. I noticed there's more MythBusters on Hulu, so that's fun.
Yeah, you've been watching that some too.
Exciting stuff.
Well, in case anyone has any questions for us for next week, make sure to email us at hesaidshesaiedpc@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram, same name at hesaidshesaiedpc. On Facebook, where He Said, She Said podcast. And yeah, go on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating. Tell us
Please.
what you like about us. And send us some questions. Send us some feedback. Send me a weird baby food to try. Luke will try the meats, apparently. That's news to me. I mean, there's not that many out there.
Not if they're all mushed. I'm talking about like the treats. Like if they have baby jerky.
They don't have baby jerky.
Not jerky made of babies. Jerky for babies.
Oh my gosh. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this episode.
Me too.
We look forward to talking with you.
Me too.
At you. It's not really with them. It's at them. Again next week. So until then, have a good week. Bye, everyone.
I hope you all enjoyed hearing both sides of the story. Goodbye.